Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome in. This is Formidable. This is episode 112. Yes, if you're a new listener, 112 episodes. All of them can be found on my YouTube channel, LX Formidable XL, literally everywhere. Well, anyways, hello. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, just like I promised about 2 weeks ago, I'm going to talk about our front page feature that took place this past week. Last week? Past week. The week that just went by. Last Wednesday, I had the opportunity to become one of very many people that were able to be featured on the front page of Twitch. Now, I talked about this on the podcast 2 weeks ago where I said I applied. The requirements are a lot easier to achieve now. And I was able to be approved. I have no clue what they look at. I have no clue how they decide. It's an application where you just fill out a form and stuff. You say what your stream is about and all that kind of things and information. You pick a date where you would like to be featured, and you just hit submit. And when I received my approval, it's just an email that I think I would imagine is like just a copy-paste email that they send anybody who's approved with the date and the time zone that you'll be approved and a bunch of information about how to help while you're live and all this kind of stuff and what you should do, what you should not do, and what you can and cannot do. So with that being said, last Wednesday, I went live for 8 hours, and that's how long the front page feature is for. When you think about front page, when you open up Twitch, the carousel at the top, very top middle, there's always one stream playing, and there's about 5 or 6 or so other streams that are in the carousel. You could hit the arrow buttons and scroll through them. I can tell you for a fact that straight off the rip, I averaged just under 1,500 viewers for 8 hours, maxed out at about 2,300 viewers. That's what the numbers said. Now, a lot of the chats came from people that are always in my stream. A lot of people came from they used to be there or they haven't been in a while, and I think they probably just saw my name and saw 2,000 viewers and said, what the heck's going on, tuned in and all that. So thankful for the exposure and discoverability. But the number, I can guarantee you, is definitely not how many people are actively in your chat with your stream open. I do think that they're counting views from the front page itself. So if you open up Twitch and there's a stream playing, I believe that they're going to count you in that stream as a view. Now, obviously, all you see is a muted display of what the stream looks like. And you're not actually chatting. You're not actually in the window itself. So I think the numbers represent that very well. But it was an absolute insane opportunity. And what I noticed, the big thing is a couple things. What I noticed, like I said, is the discoverability alone. People would come in. We had a lot of new followers. I usually get 3 to 5, maybe max 10 followers in a stream. And that's a really good day on a regular basis. I averaged about maybe 30 new followers, a lot of new chatters and all that kind of stuff, which you hope that they return after that. And but yeah, a lot of new chatters. Hey, I found you on the front page. Hey, yeah, I was just browsing. Hey, you're on my front page of Twitch. I thought I'd tune in, stuff like that, right? So that it was really good for the stream, for the community, because we got to meet a lot of new people, a lot of new friends, and like I said, hopefully they return, right? Hopefully you give them a good enough reason for them to return. With that being said, a lot of it was the true regular community that showed up as a special event and hung out and chatted up and hyped it up and all day. I mean, it felt amazing. It was absolutely it was exhausting. It was overwhelming. I've never had that many people in the chats. It went up and down. I can guarantee you that. It went up and down. Started off when I started my stream, it automatically kind of shot up around 300 viewers. Then it went up and up and up and up, 2.3 thousand. And then it kind of trickled down, and then it went back up a little bit to 1.7 thousand. And then when we rated off near the end of the 8 hours, it was going down to 900, 800, 700, 600. When I rated off, though, and this is why I believe that they're counting views that are not even in your stream, we rated off with 70. So there was hundreds in the view count, right? And I was expecting to send those people as well, but I had this inclination of you know what? I don't think that these numbers are exactly how many people are going to be in the raid. So we rated off with 70, which is an amazing number regardless. But if people are hoping that the front page actually brings like 1,000 chatters, 1,000 active viewers, that's going to be different. That's going to be different. With that being said, another benefit that I noticed, and I only could notice this a few days later, was in the statistics in terms of ad revenue. Now, I don't change my ad schedule at all, ever. I run 4 minutes of ads per hour. So that's every 30 minutes, roughly. Not necessarily on the dot because it doesn't start right away, but I run 2-minute ads for those who are not subbed up. On the regular basis, I can guarantee you that I will only make maybe $50 to $60 on ads in a month, in an entire month, okay? Now, in that stream for 8 hours, averaging just over between 14 and 1,500 average viewers for 8 hours. I don't know exactly how it calculates ad revenue. Never been told. We don't get told this. It's just, here's a number. For that one stream, I made, I think it was $55 or $60 in ad revenue alone. And that is massive when usually that's a whole month. You know what I mean? So that obviously helps in terms of not only being live, but regardless of the financial benefits of subs and bits and donations, you're getting more ad revenue because you have a lot more people in your stream. So it just made me think a lot about all these people that stream to thousands of people on a regular basis every day. If you average 1.2, 1.5, 2,000 viewers, you're at least making, well, according to my schedule anyways, and my experience, $100 Canadian anyways, 60 to 70 bucks if you stream 8 hours. That's not horrible because most people work 8 hours and make $100. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, whatever the math is. Back in my day, I used to work minimum wage, $16 an hour Canadian. So pretty crazy that way. The after effects of being on the front page, I think, are simply the fact that when you have an event where that brings people together, what it does is it just shows how fun the community and a stream could be when a lot of people gather together at the same time. Hard to get people together all at the same time in a stream, of course. However, when they do get together, they're like, holy crap, this is fun. So I think that really brought together the community. Streams after that, my average seems to have gone up a little bit. I think there's probably people that have watched us on the front page and just kind of still lurking and all that kind of stuff. And that's super appreciated because if the average goes up, more opportunities come up. I mean, the only way that we could have been on the front page is if our average got high enough to be able to apply in the first place. So I think there's long-term benefits from this. Obviously, the day of was a massive event, a massive community support for the event as well, and it was really, really fun. It was exhausting though. I don't think I've ever been mentally exhausted so much after a stream, just because you're trying to make sure you speak to everyone, and there's a lot more chatting, there's a lot more activity in the stream, so you're trying to do that while game, while doing this, while doing that. So, yeah, with that being said, at the end of the day, it was a good time. Do I recommend people doing it? Yes. If you're a partner or whoever can apply, I recommend doing it because any exposure as a streamer, any extra exposure on top of what you're already doing is absolutely so massive. It's absolutely massive. So just if you get to the point where you can apply for the front page, do it, because there's nothing like being on the front page of Twitch. I've been on the front page of other platforms like Kick, and all it was empty follows and a lot of hate. And I can tell you that in an 8-hour stream of averaging 1,400+ viewers, I had two messages come in being like, one said I smelled like poo. So I don't know. I shower every day, sometimes twice a day. But we only had to ban 2 people, and they only got one message each in. I forget the first one. That's how important they are to us. So yeah, it was actually really beneficial, really positive, really fun. And the entire community was super, super, super supportive. And I can't say thank you enough for that. So if you're listening and you were there, thank you. And if you were listening and you weren't there, I hope you're there the next time we do it, because I'm hoping to apply, down the road. I think you can only do it once every 3 months, leave some water for all the fish, type thing. But yeah, it was really fun, really beneficial. The view count obviously off a little bit in terms of who's actually in your stream, which makes perfect sense, to be honest. But, yeah, just worth it in all ways. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Aside from that, no new updates, ladies and gentlemen. We're finishing our taxes. I talked about that recently. And, yeah, love that part. Anyways, thanks for listening. I appreciate that so much. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, we release the podcast episodes. And as always, we'll catch you next time. Cheers.